As we begin here, 2025, what are your priorities as we head into this new session?
Well, I think affordability is number one. It's pretty evident across the state, not even the state, across America, that we have an affordability problem. So I think that's the number one thing that we have to tackle. And of course, the migrant issue, which has been an issue in this state since day one. We've got to get it figured out, and we got to get it fixed. And then lastly is our public safety. The governor goes on national TV and claims that the subway system's safe, and then the next day a lady's brutally burned to death. And we've had stabbings and other issues ever since. So it's about time that people wake up and realize what's really going on in New York State. Our Republican conference has been talking about this for the last 7 years that I've been in the Assembly, that these are serious issues that need to be dealt with. Our friends on the other side of the aisle do not prioritize these issues. And what's happened is when you get to the affordability issue, a lot of that comes from bad policy that's passed right here in this room. And, we bring it up in debate, and we bring it up during the voting process, and they continue to just double down and vote on bad policy that's costing you and I a fortune to live our everyday regular lives. It's time for people to wake up. I think after the election results this past November, I think some people will wake up. Maybe it's going to take another election, for even more people to wake up. But they have to prioritize people's the affordability issue. To me, is what's really driving the issues in this state. When you can't afford to put food on the table or gas in your car, it's a serious problem.
The governor has, obviously this is her agenda that she's going to throw out there next Tuesday. Yesterday was child tax credit, raising that to $1,000. You also have the checks up to $500. Is that the answer?
No, absolutely not. Listen, every year we go to the state of the state and we hear all these promises and all this money that we're going to spend in the budget. But how much of the money in the budget is going to go towards immigration? How much of the money in the budget is going to be used to invest in infrastructure and policies that are actually going to put money back into people's pocket? Anybody can write a check to anybody for $500. What happens after the $500 is gone? If you don't have policies backing up to help those folks be able to afford what they're doing and how they're doing it, what good's the $500? It's just a political ploy. Let's just send everybody a check. Oh, they'll forget about it for a few days. No, that's not how it works. The work needs to start here, and we need to make good, sound choices on policy to make the lives of New Yorkers better. That's what I came for when I first got elected, and that's what I continue to do.
What will make it cheaper? Is it lowering property taxes? Is it lowering taxes?
I think there's a lot of things. Number one is these crazy mandated policies that we're putting on people, especially with regards to energy policies. Now, if you build a new house, you've got to spend an extra $75,000 to make sure that you have an EV charger. People can't afford this stuff. You're mandating school districts that they have to have EV buses at hundreds of thousands of dollars in cost. School districts are already tapped out. It's just, there's no common sense whatsoever with regards to the governor or the people that are making policy decisions in this chamber. Common sense has got to prevail. Quality of life and being able to afford to live and live safely, all those three things come together, and that's the problem in New York. The folks that are driving the bus, so to speak, have no common sense, and they are not doing the right thing with regards to the people of the state of New York.
You mentioned public safety, you talk about the subways, the governor, and tackling that. Look at that broader, wants to expand some mental health initiatives like Kendra's Law. Are you in line with that line of policy?
And I have supported, initiatives like that in the past, and I will continue to do so. But that's not the whole problem. We have other issues as well. 3-4 years ago, we were defunding the police. That was the big thing. We were going to defund the police. And if you talk to any of your police agencies, your state police, your sheriffs, number one problem, they don't have enough officers to cover the ground, regardless of what anybody says, because nobody wants to go there to work, because they don't pay them, they don't take care of them, there's no benefits, and it's very tough to be a police officer in the state of New York, because sometimes you're the one that's going to end up being blamed for something because of the crazy laws that are passed right here.
there's a letter going to be circulating calling for the closure of Marcy Correctional after what happened to Robert Brooks. Where do you fall when it comes to that, and do you think it should close?
Listen, you can't just change the whole system because of a bunch of bad apples. There are a lot of good people that work in the corrections department across the state. What they did was irreprehensible. It's disgusting. Each one of those individuals should be dealt with individually, and they should pay the price for what they did. There's no excuse, no justification for what they did, but to just completely upend the whole system over an incident that was done by individuals. The system itself didn't do it. It was the people. They had a decision to make. They made the wrong decision. I'm really not sure right at this point until we see what comes out of the investigation. Listen, people are going to commit crimes. People are going to go to jail. We still got to have a place to incarcerate these folks. So I'm not sure that closing the facility is the answer. Maybe a change of management and leadership, and maybe the governor needs to support our corrections officers as well.